Okay, so the last slide just went over how stars vary in a lot of different ways, like their color, their size, their temperature, their age, and you're probably wondering why. Because when we look up from Earth, all stars pretty much look the same. There's a few that might look bigger, but for the most part, they just look like little sparkly dots in the sky. If you look at this diagram, though, it kind of explains it, because stars have a life cycle. If a star is a high mass star, meaning it's a very large star, it has a very different life cycle than stars that are smaller or lower mass. If you look up here, all stars start off in a nebula because that's where stars are made. From there, if it's a high mass star, it will be a big main sequence star. And once it gets older, it will turn into a supergiant or a giant. Then it will explode. And from that explosion, which is called a supernova, it will either turn into a neutron star or a black hole. Now, the case is totally different for lower mass stars, which our sun actually qualifies as. So, our sun is a main sequence star, just a normal average size. Eventually, our sun will start to turn into a red giant and it will engulf the Earth at that time. At that point, it will turn into a planetary nebula, not the same thing as the nebula that it was born in. And then it will turn into a white dwarf and finally a black dwarf. And that's the end of its life cycle. So, as you can see, depending on the life cycle of a star, how it looks, like just look at these pictures, and the size it is, and also its temperature can be very different. So, that's why different stars are classified in different ways.